Quick Engineering, myself Professor Ashish Chandak. The topic of today's video is equivalence of two finite automata. I will explain you in very easy way so that you can remember in whole life. So the let us see the topic equivalence of two finite automata. So I will divide this video into two parts. First of all, I will tell you the procedure for finding out the equivalence of two finite automata, and then I will take one example where we will find whether the two finite automata are equivalent or not. So the first condition for finding equivalence is the two finite automata must have same input symbol. If that is, if one finite automata contain input symbol a and b, then another finite automata also contain input symbol a and b. It should not contain c and d. So this is the first condition. So let us see the procedure. The procedure is, let m and m dash be two finite automata. So we have to take two automata. M, first name of first automata is m, second automata is m dash. Then start with initial state of m and m dash. So you have to start with initial state of m and m dash, and then find out the transition for state q and q dash. Now what is q and q dash? Q and q dash are the initial state of finite automata m and m dash, and we have to find out the transition for all the input symbol. If and after finding out the input symbol, if one state is final and another state is non-final, then we can say that there is conflict and the two finite automata are not equivalent and we have to stop. But if there is no conflict, that is to find out the equivalence between two finite automata, either two state must be non-final or two state must be final. If there is one final state and one non-final state, then there is conflict and we can say that the two finite automata are not equivalent. So next is otherwise continue until all states are covered. So we have to repeat this procedure until all the states are covered, and if all the states are covered and if there is no conflict, then we can say that the finite automata are equivalent. So this is the procedure for finding out the equivalence of two finite automata. So now let us see the example where we will find out whether two finite automata are equivalent or not. So there is state q1 and q1 and q4. Q1 is initial state, q4 is final state. So there are two input symbol c and d. So first of all we have to start with initial state. So I will start with q1 and then I will start with q4. So these are the initial states. Then we have to find out the transition for c and d. So what is q1c? If you look here, q1c is q1 and q4c is also q4. So if you look here, both the states are final, so there is no conflict, we can go ahead. Then q1d, so q1d is q2 and q4d is q5. So again there is no conflict because q2 is non-final, q5 is non-final, we can go ahead. Now what to write on left hand side? On left hand side we have to write the states which are not covered. So q1 q4 is covered but q2 q5 is not covered, so I will write here q2 q5. So what is q2c? So q2c, if you look here, q2c is q3 and q5c is q6. So both the states, again if you see, these are non-final state, there is no problem. Then q2d is q1 and q5d if you look here, then it is q4. Again there is no conflict right now, so we can go ahead. Again this state is not covered, q3 q6, so I will write here q3 q6. So again find out what is q3c. Q3c is q2 and then q6c is q7. So again there is no conflict, we can go ahead. Then q3d is q3 and then q6d, so q6d is q6. So again there is no conflict, we can go ahead. So again this state is not covered, so I will write here q2 q7. So q2c is q3 and q7c, so q7c is q6. So again there is no conflict up till now, so we can go ahead. So q2d is q1 and q7d is q4. So here you will find there is no conflict and all the states are covered. So we can say that the two finite automata are equivalent. So two finite automata are equivalent. So this is how we have to find out the equivalence of two finite automata. So that's it for this video. If you like the video, then please subscribe, like and share. Thank you.